You know, that's what I think. You look around the whole country, and what I try to tell our team all the time is nobody cares. You know, nobody cares who's supposed to win is what I mean by that. So, you know, you have to take one game at a time and try to keep improving and understand that if nobody cares if you got problems, and you can't care if other people got problems. You got to worry about yourself and whatever it takes to get a W. My concern in this one is it's our first road game. And you know, that's a different animal. And you got to play a tough one. That's why this one's a good game, because they sell out. Nebraska sells out all their home games. You know, it prepares you for your conference play when you go play tough ones inside your conference. But you know, back to us, the fact that we hadn't played a road game would be my biggest concern. Being able to make sure we handle the elements. I mean, you can't control what's happened to your opponent. They still got two guys averaging 20 a game, and Teran Petway is going to be an NBA draft pick at the end of the day. In one game, the thing about college basketball that I would caution people is, you know, one game's result has nothing to do with the next. You know, I mean, Michigan beats Syracuse, turns around and loses to NJIT. So it's just this has just because you beat them and they lost to them, it just doesn't matter.
And like you said, they have two of the top 4 scorers in the league.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they got two guys capable of making guarded shots. That's the stuff that keeps you up at night as a coach, because you know if you play good defense, and Shields and Petway can both still score on you.
But you did pretty well against both of them last year. I think Petway got 18, but most of them were from the line. And Shields, I think, was like 1 for 11.
We did a good job on Shields. Petway hit 4 threes on us. I think all of them, at least 3 of them in the second half, and they were guarded. They were guarded shots. So, yeah, he's a scary guy because he can make guarded shots. And Shields has added the perimeter shot to his repertoire. And they've been prolific from a scoring standpoint. Nebraska's main problem is Leslie Smith. Their inside tough guy tore his ACL in the summer. That's you know, you watch last year's game, which obviously we have in preparation. He was a big factor for them, giving them interior play and toughness, rebounding, interior scoring. They missed that from him, no doubt.
Coach, last night they were shocked in a late game. They were up by 5 with 33 seconds left to play, and they actually lost to the incarnate Word. In your experience, is it tougher to prepare for a team that you don't know how they're going to come out emotionally after that?
We try to worry about ourselves, and you always prepare that the other team's going to play their best game. That's what you have to do. You got to get ready to beat Nebraska, that's picked 4th in the Big Ten, with two great players, and you got to expect that. You know, if you play well and they don't, then you're lucky. But you got to be ready to play. You got to be ready to play Nebraska with their best players, going to play their best game in their gym, and you got to be ready for that. So again, it makes no bearing on Saturday night what happened to them on Wednesday night. It just has nothing to do with it.
And they lost by 10 to Creighton, and then they won by 5 against Florida State.
It just shows you. It has nothing to do. Results mean nothing. We worry about what the other team's capable of when we're in preparation. So we try to get our guys focused, whether it's Nebraska or it was Stony Brook. Everybody's capable of beating you if you allow them to do the things that they're good at. And then if you go out and don't play well yourself, you don't execute yourself.
After a couple of years, Mick, do they now look like a Big Ten team to you? Are they the typical?
Well, I wouldn't know. You know, I didn't. Last year was the first time we ever played them, and they finished 4th in the Big Ten. So, and you know, what's the Big Ten now? Is it the Big 12 or Big 14? I lose track. But they did finish 4th, and I know there's at least 12 teams in that league, maybe more. I think there's 4. Is there 14 or just 12? There's 14. So you know, they finished. You know, they had a great finish to their season, and I know I distinctly remembered last year after we beat them saying, well, we just beat a really good team, and they made shots against us and we still beat them. So it's not going to be easy. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's trying to get a win. Whether they're not going to want to win any more than they would have if they'd have won 2 in a row. You know, for us, we need a win. So it's really, we can't worry about our opponent other than strategically. And we obviously, we're on our own journey. It's a chance for us to get a road win, and we got to be focused on what we're trying to accomplish and our own goals.
Have you ever taken a team into this environment? Have you ever had any of your teams go to Nebraska and play?
No.
What have you heard about it?
I've heard that they have a state-of-the-art arena, top 5 arena in the country for an on-campus arena, and that's from Mike Bone. You know, Mike in his year off, he went and visited Nebraska and toured their facilities and took some pictures. And I remember last year when he got here, he was telling me, you can't believe how nice their facilities are. So I hear it's a tremendous home court advantage.
When you saw Octavius Ellis play, when you recruited him, how much different did he look than what he was here?
You mean when I saw him in high school?
No, didn't you recruit him again when he was in junior college?
Well, he's much older. You know, he's 220 pounds. He was 190 pounds when he was here.
Yeah. What about his game besides just?
Well, you can get. I think that he was when he was 190. He had thoughts of playing on the wing, maybe, and people telling him, you know, because of the way he was built at the time. And you know, I remember distinctly telling him when he was here, he didn't have that skill set. That he's going to be a shot blocker, a great defender, and a 15-foot and in guy, and he's going to have to gain weight to do it, to play at our level. I think he realized that in junior college. I think he crossed the biggest barrier that a player has to cross to have success. You know, he figured out who he is. And in basketball, I tell you this all the time, in basketball that's a big problem. Yeah. You know, in football it's not.
So I'm not going to ask him this, but do you think he came to that realization on his own? Did another coach reinforce that?
You know, I think as he got older and stronger, in his second year in junior college, he became a dominant shot blocker. And as he got older, he became a more efficient inside player, and he started to have success. I think he just grew up.
And has he done exactly what you thought he would do here so far?
So far, yes, but it's going to be a lot tougher.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my message to him as well as our team. You got to understand that the real running is about to start, and December is about grinding out some wins and getting better so you're ready to win when it really starts in your conference play. And that's where Octavius has got to be focused. You know, because he was around and he watched the team go to the Sweet 16. He knows how hard it is to win games. He's got to take himself back to that time and realize that he cannot be happy with any success that he's had.
Coach, our 3 lowest scoring outputs were where we shot the ball poorly from behind the arc. Are there any things that you're working on in practice to improve our 3-point shooting percentage so that we put more points on the board?
We worry about, I would tell you that our turnovers killed us in those games, and offensive rebounding. We do the same things all the time, just like every other team. And I don't believe it. You're never going to make shots every game. It always averages out. So if you make shots one game, you're probably not going to make them the next. We're not a team that's going to shoot over 40 from 3, but we're not going to shoot under 30. So they're going to have games where you do. We've had them where you shoot over 40, and you have games where you shoot under 30. But at the end of the day, you're going to shoot in the 30s. You got to be able to rebound the ball. So like what I would tell you is Michigan lost the other night to Eastern Michigan, and I think they were 2 for 20 or something from 3. My statement would be they lost because they only had 2 offensive rebounds. So you got to be able to win when you don't make shots. That's what teams that win consistently do. They find a way to win that game. So because you're just, no matter what we do in practice, we're not going to make shots every game. Neither does San Antonio Spurs. They went through a stretch early in the year, a 5-game stretch where they shot in the 20s from the 3-point line, and they're a lot better than us.
Pay much attention to where the rest of your league has been playing so far. You have nobody in the top 25. It's quite a change from last year.
Well, you graduated 3 first-team All-Americans. You know, Louisville's not your conference, and you graduate Shabazz Napier and Sean Kilpatrick and a dominant player in Justin Jackson. SMU's schedule, their schedule early was brutal. You know, and they have they have their leading returning scorer, one of them, ineligible in the first semester, so they took blows early. Our schedule's set up to, if we win 3 in a row, we'll be ranked. We're standing here on whatever it is, December 21st, and we just won 3 in a row, we'll be ranked. And I think, Connecticut, obviously they got upset by Yale, but they had Texas's top 10, they had them beat. The guy hit a fall-away 3 at the buzzer to beat them, so that was a tough one for them.
Are you concerned at all about what that might do to your RPI as the season goes on if those teams don't?
Oh yeah, that's why you hope you don't want Nebraska to lose. As much as the Bearcat fans don't want to hear this, you root for Xavier.
Yeah.
You root for NC State. All your non-league opponents, you want them to win. But that's no different than any other team. I mean, we all, you're always hoping those teams win because it's helping your strength of schedule. But we knew going in though. That's why we played a dangerous team like Stony Brook. That's why we went to the tournament. That's why in Destin. That's why we played the schedule we're about to play. With the 3 in a row and then NC State, Xavier late. We got 5 serious non-league games coming. And with the team we're going to have returning next year, our non-league schedule will be even tougher than it is this year.
Hypothetically, if Cincinnati does get the invite to the Big 12 at some point, does the Big 12 then become the premier basketball conference with Cincinnati and Memphis in it?
I would say that's a question for the geniuses that get paid to analyze. I still get paid to coach, so I don't deal in hypotheticals. Hypothetically, I hope that I'm still upright tomorrow. Okay. That's how I operate. I have no interest, comments. I don't worry. I got enough problems. I'm worried about practice, and I mean that. I don't even think about it. Once you started in on a conference question, I didn't even hear the rest of it. So I couldn't even answer it if I wanted to, because I get it all day, every day, and I can't. I tell everybody I got enough things to worry about. Try to worry about the Bearcats. Plus I got to do an 8-year-old's hair every day. That's a tough one. A lot tougher than people really realize. And then argue with her about making sure she wears warm clothes.